Today we're making spooky, elegant crafts. Keep watching. I'm Brandy and this is Making It My Own DIYs. For project number 1, we are going to be doing a spider frame. We're going to use some spider web and some creepy cloth, this Dollar Tree sign with the skulls on it, and then this is a thrifted frame. It's got some wire across it. Maybe a little girl had it for bows, I'm not sure. But I thought this would look very pretty with this. So on the edge of this Dollar Tree sign, it's kind of rough. You can kind of see the little MDF or cardboard. So I'm just going to take my little emery board here and just file this down. I found this at Dollar Tree. It's really good for these projects where you got to get around the little bumps and curves. Look, I'm filing his teeth there. And just go all the way around so that you don't see the paper sticking out. I'm going to use my antiquing wax and a baby wipe and just dot some on there and rub it together, and we are going to make some shadowing and some dimension on this by going around the edges all the way around. And you can make this as wide as you would like. If you would prefer to do this with a brush, if you like the brush strokes, you can do that, but I really like to do this. I feel like I have a little more control with a wipe and my fingers. You want to put the shadows where the eye orbits are, around the nose area, maybe around the jawline, and where the heads sit on top of one another, because those are the places that you would naturally see shadows. And by doing this, you're going to make this Dollar Tree sign look a lot more expensive. Now while that is drying, we are going to work on this beautiful frame. Now this is a white frame and it's a bright white, and I prefer a more rustic look, a more aged look. And certainly if this is something that we would find in a haunted home, a haunted house, then we would want it to be more dark. We would think that it would be maybe aged or gilded or something like that. For me, I am going to just make it look like it is very aged and kind of dusty and dirty, like it would be if it was in a very old home. So I'm just using a dry brushing technique for this, dotting it in that wax, dotting most of it off, and then going back over all of the indentions and details and raised areas on here. Don't worry about if it looks like it's too dark, because we're going to be wiping back most of this. What I mean by that is I'm going to be using a dry cloth and wiping off all of the areas on the top. And that's really going to bring more attention to the recessed areas. If you want to send me an email with some of the projects you have done that maybe I've inspired you to do, feel free to send them to me at my email address, which is in the description box below. I would love to see it, and I would also love at some point to feature some of these projects on my channel so that you get some attention to your work. Continue around all the way till you get as much detail as you want, and then here I am taking that dry cloth and just wiping it off. So the top parts are going to be, you see how that looks so much more detailed now? I'm going to give you a closer look. I'll lift it up for you and let you see. See the difference? Oh, I love this. I've had this frame for probably a year and a half waiting to do a project like this. So I'm going to use some of this black spider web. Certainly if you prefer to use the white, you can do that. If you like the neon, the purples, the pinks, the whatever you have, just go ahead and use that to suit your taste. And then there's a depression around here, and I thought, okay, well, I wasn't really sure how it would work using hot glue just on the fabric. So I thought if we would use some popsicle sticks, they'll fit right down in that area, and it should kind of trap the spider web between the frame and the popsicle stick, and that would hold it together better. So that's just what I did, but you can use whatever technique that you've used previously and whatever works best for you. You know, I'm learning too. I don't have any training in doing this type of thing. It's just self-taught. Everything I do is self-taught. My florals, the painting, everything is just self-taught. So I'm still learning too, just like you are. Alright, so now I'm going to take some of this creepy cloth. Now this is more like a It's almost like a cheesecloth, but it's called Creepy Cloth, but it's not like the ones from Dollar Tree. I got it at the thrift store and I really couldn't tell you. However, I feel like whether you use this type or the one with the looser weave, any of that would look good. This is just going to give it a little more dimension again. And I'm going to, you can see I'm trimming it now. But I use the same technique when I put the spider web down. I use just a little bit more of the popsicle stick. You can see the smaller pieces to just glue that one down right on top of it, just sandwich in between. And so now that we've got the back finished, and I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to go ahead and work on how we're going to attach this sign down to the frame. Luckily, there are lots of little gaps in the frame on the side, so we can just use our pipe cleaners and some hot glue, and I'm just using some masking tape, and press these into place so that we have something to put through those open areas and attach it to the frame. These little spatulas are great to keep you from burning your fingers because the glue gun I'm currently using will take your fingerprints off. Yeah, that's the big boy over there. Now I'm just going to feed these through this frame, and I hope y'all can find something like this. Maybe you have an old mirror that's broken. You could get the frame. I feel like this was probably a mirror at one point, and somebody else repurposed it, and when they were done, they took it to the thrift store, and so I was able to benefit from it. It's like a plastic material. It's very, very lightweight, so it didn't cost me very much at all, which is always a plus because I am super thrifty. Oh, by the way, the popsicle stick you could see there on the bottom, I do fix that. It came loose, but I do fix that, no worries. Alright, so I am going to go ahead and put some more spider web on the top of this frame. If you don't want to do this at this point, you can wait until the last step to do it, but for me, because I know I'm going to put a bow on there, I feel like it will help hold this in place. And anything I can do to make my project stick together and look good and just, you know, and be efficient with it and quick with it. We want to get our work done, but we don't want to be here all day long, and you certainly do not want your projects that you worked super hard on to fall apart. And the spider web is just kind of weird. It's not meant to be a permanent thing. You know, it's a Halloween decoration. You use it, you throw it away. Now I'm going to make a bow for it, and I'm not going to make a huge, tremendous, crazy, wacky bow, so don't be afraid. I'm going to use some of that velvet ribbon from Dollar Tree. There's only about 3 feet on a roll. I'm going to use the spiderweb ribbon from